Hello, everyone. It is Friday, and it is me, Gary Ryan, here with a video that I wanted to put together. This is not going to be a long one, but I think it's very, very important. Want to break down what happened Thursday night in the game between the Blue Ridge Bobcats and the Carolina Thunderbirds, specifically with what happened with Alex Basey. All right. Um, and I want to tie this into the discussion that we recently had about the rule changes. If you haven't gone and checked it out yet, go to the YouTube page. There is a live Facebook video. I just said the YouTube page. All right, let's try that again. Go to the Facebook page. Live video there that I did this last Tuesday, discussing the rule changes and the implications that it could have on players. And now we are seeing that just 2 days later, it will have an impact on players. So, just to give you a little background, in case you haven't seen the game, I want to give you a little breakdown as far as what took place. Okay, it was late in the first period. The game was a very competitive game. It was only 1-0 Carolina at this point. Last minute of the first period, Jacob Schnapp and Alex Basey both were contending for the puck. They both went into the corner. All right, hit the boards. They really didn't hit each other. It was kind of like boom against the boards. All right. So, neither really got each other. All right. So, anyway, so they collide against the board. The puck gets moved out. They start jawing a little bit, but it didn't last long. The jawing lasted 3-4 seconds at most. All right. So, Basey gives Schnapp just little cross check in the back, just like that. I mean, he didn't even fully extend his arms. It was just bump. All right. Gave him a second thing. At this point, Schnapp looked at Basey, did not say anything, turned and started skating away toward his crease. At this point, play had stopped. All right. So now Basey obviously was trying to agitate Schnapp and goad him into a fight. He wanted them to square off. Jacob obviously didn't want to. All right. So as they got near the crease, this time a third cross check. This time full extension. All right. Basically cross checks Schnapp in the back. Schnapp falls. I personally think it was a bit of a dive, but that aside, that really didn't have much to do with anything, except that he sold it. All right. Whether it was a dive or whether he really just honestly reacted to the force of the cross check, he gets spilled. All right. So immediately the officials converge on Basey, and the fans are going nuts because it's at Carolina. They're all yelling at Basey. All right. So should just be a simple 2 minutes for cross checking. That's what should have happened. But Basey started yelling at Schnapp, trying to get at Schnapp. Now the two linesmen are holding him, but he's not turning to go to the penalty box. He's jawing at Schnapp. All right. So at that point, they say, "Okay, you're gone, Alex. You're gone." All right. So gave him a 5-minute major for an aggressor or a fighting. The fighting was the actual call. And then a 10-minute game misconduct initially. I'm sorry, not 10-minute. It was a game misconduct. Initially, they listed it as leaving the bench or penalty box area. I was like, what? How do you get that? They're both. This is right in the middle of the offensive zone. Everybody's converging, and there's nobody left the bench, nobody left the box. So anyway, so Basey is given the gate. Okay, social media blows up. There were a few of us that were saying, "How can the officials call this? He wasn't on the bench. He wasn't in the penalty box. What kind of call is this?" They changed it to something else. I forget what it was, but that was only up briefly, and then eventually they settled on game misconduct aggressor, which at least fits what actually happened. All right. So I just want to break this down because this obviously plays into these rule changes with multiple game suspensions, with the cheap shots and coming off the bench and all that kind of stuff. All right. There's a couple thoughts. First of all, with what happened, was it a boneheaded play by Basey? Absolutely. Why he was trying to goad Schnapp into a fight when it was just a coincidental collision into the boards, both in pursuit of the puck, how that devolved in mere seconds to Basey just going nuts on Schnapp, I don't know. All right, I can't. I don't know what was going on inside his head. It was a stupid move, and it must be noted. Okay, Jacob Schnapp is very, very good at doing this, where he'll be a fly in the ointment, but he doesn't hurt his team by stupid penalties. All right, and and more often than not, when somebody else is trying to goad him in a fight, like this, Basey's the one that went over the edge. Schnapp held his composure and again possibly sold the third cross check, but regardless, okay, Schnapp again, he didn't hurt his team. Basey hurt his team, because now they're down a guy for the remainder of the game. Schnapp continues to play. He's doing his thing. All right. So Schnapp has that reputation. Almost everybody knows it. You're not gonna get him goaded into a fight. So why did Basey try and do it? I don't know. Regardless, I still think that had Basey, when he delivered the final cross check, and Schnapp ended up falling, if when the linesman came over to him and just escorted him to the box, and if Basey would have just gone willingly, I think we're talking about a minor penalty and the game goes on. But that's not the way it happened. I understand why what was decided as the final call for the game misconduct was given. Obviously, Basey was not in a mindset that he was going to continue to play hockey. He was just there for the fisticuffs and for the shenanigans. All right. So, okay, he's gone. All right. Now he's facing potentially a suspension. How much? I don't know. I thought it was very, very interesting that the ridiculous leaving the bench was the initial penalty that was levied against him. And if you watched yesterday's episode of the Unsportsmanlike podcast, Matty B and Tom Callahan broke things down from previous incidents that had happened, and they were talking a lot about this and about getting all this stuff out of the game, we got to get this stuff out of the game. This is just ridiculous stuff, and the point was so hammered. So it shouldn't be a surprise that later that night, of course, the podcast is pre-recorded. I think it was recorded on Tuesday. It was aired yesterday, but the game goes on Thursday, and all of a sudden you have, let's just give this guy, he left the bench. Sounds kind of fishy to me. All right. So I'm reading into this, yes, but I'm thinking this is making Alex Basey Exhibit A, the league against the players. Not against, but the league to the players saying, yeah, we warned you. Now you're going to see it. All right. Um, this is a message that was sent to anyone who is a repeat offender. And I just thought of a few names. These players now have to really mind their P's and Q's. Because they have a reputation. So anything that happens, the referees are going to be looking at them twice, 3 times, 4 times. All right. They're going to be scrutinizing every single little thing that these players do. And again, I'm not trying to single these players out, but these are players that just came to my mind immediately as like, yeah, because these players have a reputation, now they got to be ultra careful. All right. And this is in no particular order. I was just kind of going through teams in my mind, and these were some names I thought of. I thought of Alex Johnson from the Prowlers. I thought of Scantlebury. Mississippi, Joe Pace and Richard Pinkowski. From Baton Rouge, Taylor Cutting, Edgar Zelzlins. If he comes back to the Fed, Matt Bazarin. In Elmira, he's brand new, but Jesse Swanson. He's there to be a tough guy, and he's already gotten himself a suspension. Daniel Amesbury, when he comes back, if he comes back, because Danbury's got to sit there as an organization and saying, is he worth the risk? We'll find out in February. All right. Justin Smith from the Wolves. Tate Leeson. He has earned himself a reputation this year. Dakota Seaman. Elias Thompson from the Rockers. These are just some of the guys that I thought of. It's like, okay, everybody knows these guys are the tough guys. They're the fighters. They're the brawlers. All right. So referees are going to be looking at them really close. My concern with these rules and with what we saw last night, with how things developed when Basey was ejected, are they targeted? Are these players now targeted? And unfortunately, with the uneven officiating that we have often seen in the Fed, I think it's a realistic possibility that unspoken, but that officials are targeting players to try and eliminate them. And that's a scary thing. Yes, I think the shenanigans need to stop, but is it really fair to the team with how broad the scope is with the rule changes that were put in and how severe the penalties are? Is that fair to the teams? I don't think so. I think there's a balance to be found. I think that it should have been found. It obviously hasn't. We were at one end of the pendulum before with with Thunderdome, and now we're at we're in the gulag, and we're going to punish you every chance we can get. There should have been something in the middle. And so, the league makes changes on the fly. So let's make a change to these rule changes and make them more realistic. That's my 2 cents. All right. If you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments. I welcome viewpoints that are outside of mine. There's been great discussion on Facebook, and I appreciate it. A lot of opinions I don't agree with, but I understand and respect the take that's given, and so there you go. All right, anyway, so let me know in the comments below. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Tomorrow we'll be back with game recaps. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow.